All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we're going to talk about Josh Allen and his third time's a charm. Is this the game that the Bills finally beat the Chiefs? Now, I'm not going to say, whether or not that's going to happen. I'm going to talk about whether it could happen, because obviously I want to save that for tomorrow. Because for tomorrow, with it being 4 games, we're literally just going to preview each game, in its own segment. So, like the last segment, I kind of just want to go, even though it's just, 2 playoff matchups, but I want to go through the previous 2 matchups when these teams, played each other in the playoffs. So, obviously, you had the AFC Championship game that was back during the COVID season. Josh Allen in that game went 28 of 48, 287 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He had a 52 QBR and an 80.8 quarterback rating. He was their leading rusher at 88 yards on the ground. Cole Beasley actually was their leading receiver in this game. I did not know that. TJ Yeldon was there on the team as well. 4 receptions for 41 yards. That's a throwback name. Dawson Knox had a touchdown. Isaiah McKenzie had a touchdown. But yeah, the Bills lost that game 38-24. And then on the Chiefs side, Patrick Mahomes had 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a QBR of 94.3, and a quarterback rating of 127.6. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 325 yards passing. Darrell Williams was actually their leading rusher. He had 52 yards rushing and a touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire had a rushing touchdown. Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce had big games. Tyreek Hill had 172 receiving yards. Travis Kelce had 13 receptions for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns. Mecole Hardman had a touchdown in the game. But yeah, the Chiefs won that 38-24. And yeah, they went on to lose the Super Bowl that year to the Bucs. And then, of course, you had the classic AFC divisional round from a couple years ago. The year after that, 42-36 was the final score in this game. Josh Allen finished 27-37, 329 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, 136 quarterback rating, and a 92.1 QBR. Was their leading rusher again for he had 68 yards rushing on the ground. And Gabe Davis, that was his big playoff performance that really raised his fantasy stock because everybody was all over Gabe Davis the following year, including myself. I didn't realize that Gabe Davis didn't play in the game against, or that he was ruled out against the Steelers. I didn't realize that. Not that it really mattered, but yeah, so Gabe Davis had 8 receptions for 201 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Stephon Diggs only had 3 receptions for 7 yards. So he really didn't do anything in this game. Josh Allen did fumble, but it wasn't a fumble loss. He recovered it. And then for the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes went 33 of 44, 378 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, a 96.9 QBR, and a 123 quarterback rating. And Patrick Mahomes actually was the leading rusher for the Chiefs. He had 7 carries for 69 yards and a touchdown. Tyreek Hill had 11 receptions for 150 yards and a touchdown. Travis Kelce had 8 for 96 and a touchdown. What a game this was. And obviously, with that game, we all remember, the Bills scored the go-ahead touchdown with 13 seconds left. And you thought the game was over. But the Chiefs had all 3 of their timeouts. And it was interesting because I saw they posted it on I saw it on Instagram, I believe, or TikTok. It was on social media. It was one of the 2. The audio of Travis Kelce, because he told Tyreek Hill what he should run on the first play, because the Bills were playing off and Tyreek Hill got that big chunk to start the drive. They called a timeout, and then Kelce said that if they run the same defense, that seam's going to be open down the middle. And, when they went up to the line, Mahomes saw it and told Kelce to run that route. And Kelce went right down that seam. Mahomes threw it to him. They got into field goal range. Butker kicked the game-tying field goal. Went into overtime. The Chiefs got the ball first. And they went right down the field, scored the touchdown. Travis Kelce caught the game-winning touchdown, and that was the game. And Josh Allen did not see the ball, and that's why there was all that, controversy over the overtime rules, and they did change them. Yeah, and it was because of that game. But I mean, what else is Josh Allen supposed to do? I mean, that was an unbelievable game that he played. But the Bills fell a little bit short. And the Chiefs ended up winning the game. Of course, they ended up losing to the Bengals. The following week. That game went to overtime as well. And the Chiefs did get the ball, but Patrick Mahomes then threw a pick, and then they got into field goal range, and Evan McPherson kicked the game-winning field goal, and that was it. All right, so now is third time's a charm here for Josh Allen. Can they finally get over the hump and beat the Chiefs in the playoffs? Now, again, Patrick Mahomes has never played in a road playoff game, not counting the Super Bowls, so it's going to be different. It's going to be different, and they did play in the regular season in Buffalo during the COVID season, but again, no fans for this game. Bills Mafia is going to be going crazy for this game. So the Bills at least have their fans to back them up here in this spot, in this postseason game. And the other thing, too, is, and this didn't happen against the Steelers, Josh Allen got to play a turnover-free game as well. And you know what? He played pretty much a turnover-free game in the last playoff matchup. But, again, they still lost. That's another thing, too. But this is a different Chiefs team. There's no Tyreek Hill in this game. Obviously, Travis Kelce is a little compromised. He's been a little banged up this year. The receivers have had their drop problems. Rashee Rice has really started to, become that number one wide receiver for this team. Isaiah Pacheco has run the ball well for them. So the Chiefs have a new identity on offense. It's not the same, it's not the same Chiefs offense. But again, this is an offense you still got to respect because of who's running the offense. Obviously when you got Mahomes and you got Kelce there, you still got to respect them. And they still got some guys on, again, like I said, Pacheco, Rashee Rice, they've been making plays. So, and the Bills' defense is banged up. It's not going to be. I don't think they're going to go up 21-0 to start the game against the Chiefs. It's not going to happen because the Chiefs' defense. That's the bigger story this year. Is the Chiefs' defense has played really well. So I think this is going to be a close, tight game. It's probably going to come down to the end. Really looking forward to it, of course. I'm not going to say who's going to win this game right now, but yeah, I mean, it's third time's a charm. You lost the previous two matchups against them in Arrowhead, and now you're at home for this game. Like I said, you got Bills Mafia behind you, so that helps you out. And you just got to not turn the ball over as well. And the Bills defense has got to force some stops. I'm really curious to see how it's going to go. I don't really know where I mean, obviously I did my bracket already, so if you go back and watch that, how I had the playoffs shaping out. But that doesn't mean I can't change my picks. I mean, also, again, from a fan perspective, it'd be nice to see a different team. Maybe see the Bills move on and, maybe get to the Super Bowl. Because obviously the Chiefs won last year. I know my parents are definitely saying that. I know my mom especially be like, "Oh, you see a new team. We see the Chiefs every year." I mean, listen, I with the way the playoffs are right now, I'm fine with whoever gets to the Super Bowl, and that we get a good game. Yeah, I mean, this game is going to be competitive. I'm not going to say this game is going to be a blowout, one way or the other. This game is going to come down to, who's going to have the ball last. Now, I don't think it's going to be a 42-36 game. No, it will not be that game. It will not be that game. And if it is, well, I'll take it. I'll take another one of those. That's fine. Because a lot of people say that's the best playoff game ever. Is that game? Because the amount of scoring. I mean, you had Gabe Davis scoring a touchdown on 4th and 13. Then you had Tyreek Hill. He scored the touchdown. Then Gabe Davis scored another touchdown. And then the Chiefs, with 13 seconds left, get into field goal range. Butker kicks the field goal. They go to overtime. They go right down the field. Kelce scores the touchdown. And that's the game. I mean, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with another OT game like that. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is a legacy game for Josh Allen. Because if you could do that, that just gets that monkey off your back. That really does. If you're able to finally beat this team in the postseason. And the Bills, they've been in playoff mode really since the game against the Chiefs that they played way back. When Kadarius Toney lined up off sides. So they've been in playoff mode ever since they played the Chiefs. Now the Chiefs, they're probably like, we lost to this team because when that happened, we want to get revenge for that. So there's also that as well, and it's weird because the Bills have kind of owned the Chiefs in the regular season, but the Chiefs have owned them in the postseason. And now we're going to see, and when the Chiefs did beat them, that was in Buffalo and there were no fans. So now we're going to see them in a playoff game in Buffalo with fans. Patrick Mahomes, again, first road playoff game. I mean, I'm really excited. Another Mahomes-Allen matchup. This is like the next. I mean, the big three, like when Burrow's healthy, it's like between those three. And obviously, I don't really want to disrespect Lamar Jackson, what he's been able to do. Because, the first couple of years, we were talking about Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson, couldn't beat the Chiefs. And then they finally did in 2021 in week 2. Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbled in that game. The Ravens got the ball, and then they were in their own territory on 4th down, and they went for it. Lamar Jackson picked up the first down, and they won. I think they won by a point, and Lamar Jackson finally beat the Chiefs. And since then, the Chiefs haven't played the Ravens. So, we could see that in the championship game, but it's been a little bit since the last time we saw Mahomes and Lamar Jackson play against each other. So maybe we see that in the AFC Championship game. Who knows? But I mean, a lot of people are talking about it being the Mahomes-Allen or Mahomes-Burrow being the next, Manning Brady. I mean, I feel like, well, actually, I don't even know because, they've played each other the same amount of times. Like Mahomes has played Burrow twice in the playoffs. He's played Josh Allen twice in the playoffs, but now it's third time. So, again, the NFL's in good hands with the quarterbacks we got. I mean, the quarterbacks in the AFC side. I mean, we're in good hands. We really are. But let me know what you guys think. Is this the game that Josh Allen finally gets over that hump and beats Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs? Let me know. That's basically it with the show for today. There's going to be no baseball show tomorrow. So what we're doing now is it's going to be now every other Friday. We kind of reached a point in the off season where there's just really nothing going on. I mean, you had a bunch of teams, sign a bunch of international players. But I mean, when I looked at the Hot Stove app, on the MLB at Bat app, and went to the Hot Stove page, and there's just nothing yesterday. We will. That'll be next Friday, so it'll be every other Friday. The football show obviously will be tomorrow. We'll preview all the games. I'll give you my picks, and that'll be it. So with that is all the time that we have for today. I thank you guys for watching. Again, make sure to tune in tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And until then, I'm Kenneth Grunfelder signing off from the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.